I think my take on partner marketing is it is part of product marketing. At the core, partner marketing is leveraging your customers, your target audience's ecosystem, understanding how they buy, and then within that ecosystem, there are partners that influence their behavior. I'll give some concrete examples to make it more clear, but essentially those folks influence, entities, associations influence how your buyers buy. They never buy in a vacuum. And so if you can get to them through all of those spokes that influence their behavior, you're actually going to have a more primed customer and a much more efficient sales cycle. You could trigger your sales cycle, you could get to your customers faster, and then you could deliver what we all want as marketers, which is growth and revenue.
This is super interesting because like I've worked at a company where there is a partner marketing function or partner marketing person. And then there's also business development, and there's also like a co-marketing as a work stream. So what's the difference between partner marketing or partnership or business development, and where do they typically sit within the organization?
Yeah, so what you're describing is perhaps a more mature organization where there are multiple different streams. Let me actually give you a concrete example of how we built it at Guideline. And for me in my career, although when I was at Nickelodeon Kids and Family, we had clearly a very large organization, so we had more of these separate streams. But at Guideline, when I joined, I took over the marketing team, which was just a couple of people. We didn't have clear delineation of partner marketers. I took over and focused more on product marketing at first. And then we had strategic partnerships team. At the time, it was 2 people. And that was also a very newly created team. And that'll help highlight the distinction. So strategic partnerships team, sometimes they can be called business development. They're going to go out to those identified partners within your customer's ecosystem, and they're going to make contracts with them. They're going to talk about, hey, if you have a customer over here. So I'll give a concrete example. In the case of Guideline, Guideline is a leading retirement provider for small and medium-sized businesses. And retirement is essentially a tax shelter, and it happens, you do a retirement deduction every time you run payroll. So there you go. If you think about your end customer, the CEO, and if it's a small business, their accountant, every time the accountant runs payroll and does the deductions for the CEO and everybody else in that small business for retirement, they run payroll. So naturally, the partner would be that payroll organization. So now the strategic partnerships team, they know that this is the partner ecosystem. They will go to all the different payroll providers and they will create contracts with them. And they will say like, hey, if we advertise, and you can discuss exactly how you advertise and connect with those payroll providers. If we connect with your payroll provider, every time the payroll customer signs to have a retirement through Guideline as part of their services, the payroll provider ends up getting some kind of revenue stream, right? And they create that contract. So they discuss the terms, they discuss how everything will work, and they would be the keeper of that relationship, that partnership. Marketing comes in to deliver all the marketing to the end customers. And in the case of Guideline, we actually had API connections directly into the payroll provider. And in the case, I worked directly on the Intuit partnership, on all of them, but launched the Intuit partnership. In the case of that, the API connection would create a data stream between Guideline and Intuit. And we had a tab within the Intuit product. So you run payroll, you get a pop-up that says, hey, have you thought about retirement deductions? You click on that, you go to a landing page that explains Guideline as the preferred provider of retirement. And it says like, hey, here are the benefits of retirement. You click on that and you directly go into a funnel to sign up for Guideline. Now that's incredibly powerful because now as a lead, you are primed by the entity with which you already have a relationship. You already trust your payroll provider. Now they're saying, hey, here's a retirement benefit. You go through that and you can quickly sign up. And so there is an example of how a customer, like a shared benefit, and how a customer can go through that funnel directly. But to go back to your original question, Holly, the strategic partnerships team would create that contract, and they would kind of troubleshoot, work within all the different organizations within Intuit to make sure that the partnership is sound and everything's working and the API connections are doing their thing. They'll go out to engineering, they'll make sure, hey guys, are you doing what you need to be doing so everything works? And marketing, and in that case, I was working on that directly. We did research together with the Intuit product marketing team to understand the shared value proposition, to understand the Intuit customers by segment, how they view retirement, what they need out of it, what are the objections to potentially getting it, why would they want it, and then we would create shared value propositions in those pop-ups on the little in product page within Intuit, and then eventually through that entire funnel. And we create a customized funnel for Intuit and actually for all the payroll providers eventually to make sure that you have this experience, then it's co-branded and it's a seamless process to sign up.